Excited. He's like my first guest for this amazing podcast we're going to start. So, yes, my favorite person has arrived, guys. So, we're going to get going. And I just want you to introduce yourself quickly, Grandpa. Tell them a little bit about yourself.
My name is Anthony Keelan, and this lovely young lady is my female granddaughter, Imani, and I truly love her. And I'm very nervous about this. I've never done this before, but
Okay,
for
don't
her,
be
I'll
nervous.
do anything.
I know.
So,
I could hear it in his voice, guys. Honestly, normally he calls me back and says, like, oh, we're supposed to be doing something. But the fact that he didn't call me back, I'm like, okay, I think my grandpa's a little nervous. Let me follow up. So, okay, we're gonna take it easy on him, but I know that he has experienced Katrina firsthand, and he's gonna have just a lot of information that I can't speak to because I wasn't actually in New Orleans when it happened. I was just there. I think I was 12 at the time when Hurricane Katrina happened, and essentially my experience is not going to be able to speak to the truth of the situation. So let's get it going, and I'm going to ask you our first question, okay?
okay, I'm
All
ready.
right. So don't be nervous. I promise it's okay.
All right.
All right. So can you describe your experience when Hurricane Katrina approached, and what were you feeling and doing in the days leading up to the storm?
Okay, to
Yeah.
answer that, well, let me start with Hurricane Katrina came.
Yeah.
So August 29th, 2005, a day I'll never forget.
Yeah.
And at that point, I had just turned 55. So I had been through many hurricanes in my life in New Orleans. In
Yeah.
fact, one was Hurricane Bessie, which was as
Okay.
bad as Hurricane Katrina, but only difference was the levee didn't break.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, okay, let's go through this again. Knowing
Mm-hmm.
that, okay, we're gonna lose the power, getting batteries from our radio,
Okay.
getting some water, getting some food, because we knew things was gonna be rough for a couple of days.
Okay.
And so it just basically was let's settle in and get ready for the wind to blow and the storm to pass. So that's basically how we lived about, thought about the hurricane. It's just one we'll get through because we never had to evacuate or anything, but we did know that this particular storm was proven to be a pretty big one and a pretty bad one.
Okay.
That one that they say we had probably never experienced before. So we
Okay.
were kind of ready for that. But
Okay.
other than that, we were just normal day, normal, just
Okay.
getting ready and
Okay.
let's do it.
So let me ask this just a follow-up. So on August 29th, is that the day the storm actually set, or when?
Yes.
Okay.
The storm actually came through August 29th, 2005.
Yeah.
So, but to give you a little bit of a background, I live all the way into like the middle of the city,
Yeah.
uh, far away
Tell
from
them
the
the area where you're from, Grandpa. Where were you living at the time?
I'm from what they call the Third Ward,
Okay.
which is very near the Superdome,
All right.
which is very close to downtown New Orleans,
Okay.
maybe about 5 minutes away
Okay.
by car or
Got
something
it.
like that. So,
Okay.
but actually, because we were in the middle of the city, the levee broke. We didn't have any water. The
Mhm.
next day, August 26th, we went outside.
No, you said the 29th. So what day is it? The
I mean,
25th?
okay, no, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I mean, August the 30th. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you,
It's
dear.
okay.
Keep me
It's
straight.
okay.
August the 29th. So
Yeah.
August the 30th, when I went out on my porch,
Hmm.
it was dry. The storm had done came through and
Okay.
had done moved on. There was trees down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But right on my street was actually dry.
Okay.
And so but because the levee had
What
broke
day did the levee break, Grandpa? What day was
it,
that?
it broke August the 29th,
So
the
the
day
same
of the
day.
hurricane.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But this is a day later, right? So
Yes.
this is a day later, and by me being far away from it, the water hadn't gotten to my area. The
Understand.
30th that morning.
Okay.
And so, but by I guess
Mhm.
that night. the
Yeah.
water had, because the pumps stopped running, the water started backing up like it would in your bathtub.
Okay, got
And
it.
it just came, and by the end of the day, my area was
Yes.
flooded also.
Wow. So what was your thoughts? What was going through your head when you started to see the water rise and you're sitting in
Well,
the house? So I'm going to show you guys a photo of the family house that my grandpa was in. And so you can kind of have a visual of what that looks like. So were you on the porch? Like how was that when you were
yeah,
looking
we
out?
were we were on the porch, and the water was just like coming up out of the sewer
Oh,
in the
wow.
street. And so
Wow.
it looked like, okay, well, the water was just coming up, but
Wow.
it actually, as the day went along, the water back started backing up until it got about at least 3 feet high in
Wow.
the area right in front of my door. So by the
Understand.
time I walked off my porch down
Mm-hmm.
to the street,
Yeah.
uh, it was like up to here.
Oh my goodness.
And it
And
it
what
got,
time was this? If
got
you had to say the time of day, like,
well, I'd say by this was the next day, August the 30th. So I would say it took all day just about to get to that
okay.
point
So
because it was
all day,
a
like
slow,
five
slow
o'clock,
rise.
give
Yeah,
me 5 p.m. So before
yeah,
nightfall.
yeah. Before nightfall, it,
Okay.
it was up. The
Yes.
water had come up, and we just couldn't believe that it would do
Understand.
that. We thought it might come up a little bit, but
Yes.
never that high.
Got it. So, okay, so on the 30th, you saw the water rising before nightfall. You see it's at 3 feet. What was going through your mind at this point?
It's like, wow, this is gonna be.
Got it.
Yeah, this is going to be something
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
because we never flooded like that
Yes.
in my area, right? So
Understand.
this was totally different from anything I had ever experienced.
You
It was
essentially.
mind blowing, right? It was
You
mind
didn't even
blowing,
know what to think, really. That's the thought.
right?
That's what I
Right. It
understand.
was like we couldn't go out in the water because it was kind of
Yeah,
dirty,
you said that it came
and
from the sewer. Mm-hmm.
we figured, well, we didn't know
Yeah.
what was going to happen, when the water was going to go down or whatever.
So on August 30th, you saw the water rise, night fell. How did you get in contact with Mimi, which is my mom, or Keisha, that's her sister, my mother as well. We'll get into that on another episode. But what was that like getting in contact with them as you're seeing the water rise? Or who was the first person you got in contact with?
Well, at that point, it was like days before I ever got in touch with anybody
Oh my
because,
God, Grandpa, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
I didn't have a phone
Wow, that makes me
per
so
se.
sad.
So I mean, but
No, not that. I'm just like picturing you like just like, oh my God, that makes me so sad. But okay. But let me tell you, my grandpa is a survivor, clearly, because I would have like, oh my goodness, I don't know what I would have did. So tell me, so long story short, it was days. So when did you finally get in contact with them? How did you do that? And how did you survive up
well,
until, let's start there. How did you survive up until getting in contact with your daughters?
well, it was like I just we just survived. In other
Who
words, we
is
had
we? You keep
food.
saying we. Who are you
Well,
with?
me and my neighbors, the
Okay.
neighbors
Okay.
around me,
Understand.
we, because
Yeah.
everybody was kind of stuck in their
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but we did have barbecue grills. But
Okay.
we knew to have the grills,
Okay.
so you couldn't cook,
Yeah.
right? Because they cut the
Okay.
gas off, they cut the electric off because
Understand.
it was such devastation. And
Mhm.
so you would just have your grill with charcoal, and you would cook whatever you had on,
Okay.
your chicken.
Survival instincts, because I think
Yeah.
these millennials, we be eating canned beans because no
You
way
know,
stop.
we just
So wait, okay, so you cooking on your grill, you're waiting, I guess, for I guess the rescue people. So did the who was it? The who did they send? Is it the National Guard, right?
yes,
So
eventually.
okay,
So
no, no,
we're
no, I'm just
talking.
asking. So yeah, give me the a little feedback up until them coming.
Well, what it was, we were kind of like on our porch, just talking back and forth,
Okay,
and because we had enough to survive a couple of days, right?
understand.
So
Yeah,
now you're getting into the third day.
that's a
Well, by the
lot.
third day, now things are
Yeah.
starting to run out.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you got to go out there in that water
Uh-oh.
because you got to go find some water,
Yeah, yeah,
something, right?
yeah.
And that's when you saw the people. on the news started, which I
Okay.
didn't see this until after the fact,
Okay.
but the people started going to areas where they had grocery stores that
Uh-huh.
had that were closed,
Yeah.
but we knew they had
Unfiltered.
water and everything in there. So we would attempt to, we just went
I'm
and
listening
got
to you.
food and water and whatever else we could find to survive because we then had to get out there and you just waded through the
Oh
water,
my
you
God.
know. And
Wading through the water is a lot.
yeah, and then some people had boats. The people started
Oh
uh
Lord. People
had
brought boats
canoes.
out on you?
Well, they just had, couple of people in the neighborhood might have had a canoe, or you started next morning and I heard all this noise.
Okay.
And I goes out on my porch, and when I went out there, I could see a helicopter, like one of them Huey helicopters they
Oh
use
wow.
in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And it was like right over my street, over my house, and like whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh
whoa.
my God. So it
And
woke you up?
yeah, and what it was, they
Okay.
had finally, and then you looked up and they had helicopters everywhere. And what they were doing, they were just dropping stuff into the water. They were just dropping water, packaged stuff. Talking about they
Oh,
were
okay.
crazy. They were breaking in and all that.
Oh
But
wow.
it was the
So
fact dropped the water and everything. Then people started kind of calming down, and that's when the National Guard came and
yeah.
things started changing. They would start bringing the people to the Superdome and all that other good stuff.
Okay. So now from there, that so okay, so from set for
Right.
someone to come and rescue you essentially.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I
Mhm.
was kind of like I didn't plan to leave. I
Wow,
mean,
that's a big one.
I
So
was
I've heard a lot of people in Louisiana didn't plan to leave either. So what
right
was
because we didn't rode these storms out before, but because we kind of figured that the water would go down, right? And,
Okay, got it.
and eventually we'd be able to walk around and things would get back to
Understandable. But I
normal.
realized you still had in your mind that you didn't want to leave because you felt
Right,
like,
right,
so at what
right.
point did you make up in your mind to say like, okay, no, this is just too much. It's too bad. I have to go.
It was about at least about a week or so later,
So you waited an entire week, Grandpa.
longer than that probably.
So,
Yeah, because I'm like I'm not going nowhere.
okay. You
Yeah, I'm
were,
not going nowhere. I done rode these storms out. I'm 55 years old. I'm gonna ride this one out.
I
But
got you.
it actually got so bad.
So when did you know it was like, it's too much and I have to
It was
go?
like, well, eventually they said that you had to leave.
Okay. I mean, they told you
Yeah.
you couldn't stay any longer. What was the process of you getting out of the house to a safe place? Because I
Okay.
remember my mom, like, I'll just give you one thing. I remember her saying, like, oh, you Ralph, that's my grandpa's name, or Anthony. Oh, he finally made it to the Superdome, or he finally made it somewhere. So, and then that's when they started the process of getting you to Baltimore. So give me
Right.
that time.
So this is like at least a week later. I know I
Okay.
stayed a week or more after the storm passed, right?
Yeah.
And so we got to the point where okay, this is not the water's not going down. This
Yeah.
is gonna be long term. I got to get out of here. And
Understand.
so a boat passed down my street with the
Okay.
National Guard,
Mm.
and they said, you ready to
Wow.
go? I said, yeah, I'm ready to go. He said, okay, you can bring one suitcase. He
Oh,
said, we're
wow.
going down the street and we'll be back.
Yeah.
So they went down, picked somebody else up, and
Yeah.
they came back. And I waded through the water with my one
Oh, wow,
suitcase and
Grandpa.
jumped in a boat. They
Oh,
took
wow.
me in the boat from off my street, Second
Okay.
Street,
Yeah.
and brought me out to St. Charles.
Okay.
St. Charles Street, where St. Charles was the water had was you could walk, it wasn't high on St.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Street.
Understand.
Got to St. Charles Street, and once we got there, then we got into a bus,
Mm-hmm.
and the bus um took us over to um
It's
the
okay.
convention center. It took us
Mm-hmm.
over to the convention center.
Yeah.
And when you got to the convention center, they put us in a helicopter.
Oh my goodness. Can you
We
imagine?
got in the helicopter and they took us to the airport. And when we got to the airport, they was rushing us through, okay, come this way. If
Yeah.
you need medication,
So how
go.
did that work? Like how, so when you got to the airport, did you say like this is where I want to go? Give me a ticket here?
No, no, no. Once you
Okay.
got to the airport, they had different things. They would say, well, if you need medication, go over here
Oh
because
wow.
they had the pharmacies and all that picked up, fixed up. And then if you needed this, go here. If you're having this
Yeah.
problem, go there. If not, just go straight and they go put you into a waiting area. And
Okay.
then once they did that, then they say they start putting you on the plane. So
But
it was a
where are they
big
sending
plane.
people? That's what I'm asking. So
Well,
they just
what
wherever they
happened
send you is
was
where you go.
no, what happened was they didn't tell you where you were going. They just say, come this way, get on the plane, and we loaded up the plane. About 300 and something people. It was one of those big planes. And when they closed the door, they said, okay, y'all going to Atlanta.
These
That's
people are not. Oh my Lord, are you
no,
serious?
that's a true story. And that's how, and so we flew from New Orleans and we ended up going flying all
This
day
is
and we ended up in
unbelievable.
Atlanta. And when we
I'm
got to
listening.
Atlanta, it
Keep
was like
going. Uh-huh.
midnight, and we landed in a place in Atlanta at the airport, and then they drove us to a place called Rock Eagle.
Where's that?
Atlanta. And Rock Eagle was a place where the Boy Scouts go for their jamborees and all
Oh
that
Lord
during
Jesus. So
during the
then,
summer.
so you got there, and then once you're in Atlanta, did they allow you to make phone calls? And how did you get in touch
Yes.
with
And
with
so when I got to Atlanta, I stayed in Atlanta for about 30 days actually.
Okay.
But
Oh wow.
by the 15th day,
Yeah.
your mother Mimi called me
Yeah.
found me through the Red Cross because I
Oh,
never
God
got in
bless
touch
her.
with her.
She looked up his name and through the Red Cross and found out where he was. So at that point, did she send for you to come to Baltimore?
Well, at that point,
And this is 30
she
days
said, yeah,
after the initial pickup
well,
from
yeah. And
Louisiana.
so
Hmm.
I'm in Atlanta, and
Yeah.
I actually was planning on trying to go back to New Orleans, but once we
He was real
got
stuck on
to
New Orleans. And this is the craziest thing. God trying to save your life, allow you to meet your wife, and you keep trying to go back to New Orleans. You see how life works? You got to go
Atlanta,
with the transitions. But go ahead. Let's keep going.
I never knew what God had in store for me, and it's a whole nother story.
All right,
Uh,
exactly.
but I
Okay,
got
so
to.
go ahead. So tell me just quickly, Grandpa. So she found you.
And then after she found me, she said, Daddy, come on up here to Baltimore and
Yes,
you can stay with me till this thing is over.
yes.
And by us looking at the news every day now, we actually saw for the first time how devastating 30 days I ended
Hmm.
up going to Baltimore and meeting with
30
her.
days later, that what they say you was in the wilderness. That's what they say. So it wasn't 30 days
Yeah,
and
so
30 nights. But it was one of those things where it truly saved your life. So we'll
oh,
stick
it
with that.
did. It did.
We'll stick with that.
It's like it was like God sent.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, Mimi, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spend Thanksgiving and Christmas with you.
Oh, it sure was
Then
Thanksgiving time. Yep.
by New Year's, which would have been like 3 months later. So I'm
Hmm.
still figuring,
Our
you know,
way to get back.
yeah, because I was born, raised, and planned to die in New Orleans. That
Oh,
was, that
God.
was my home.
God
I
had
was
other plans
5
for
years
you.
old, and so I told her by New Year's of 2006,
Hmm.
I would be going back home,
Understand.
and yeah, and that was my
And let
plan.
me tell you guys something. It's been 25 years later. That man is still there. Or 20 years
20,
later.
it's been 20
Oh,
years.
excuse me. Yes,
Yeah,
20
because
years
it
later,
was
and he is still living in Baltimore. So
yes.
that is the pivot that we're speaking about. And that is how God really can transition you, even in the midst of you not knowing, right?
It could be that high for as far as I could see.
Oof.
It's how did this happen?
Yeah,
That was the biggest thing. It had never done that before.
understand.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's what, mm-hmm.
yeah, and other than that, the hurricane was the hurricane. Like I say, we have them a lot,
And
and
lessons do you think you learned from Hurricane Katrina, both personally and on a community level?
on a community level, um, I know that
Mm-hmm.
a disaster will bring a community together. Because the people who stayed, who didn't leave immediately,
Mm-hmm.
they did. We helped out. We looked out for each other.
Okay.
and from that standpoint, and also that when things got bad and the people had to start moving out, we helped each other get to different places,
That's
whatever
real.
was going on by word of mouth. Now you
Yeah,
don't have the radio or whatever. Word of mouth was what we were using
I respect that.
to
Yeah,
disseminate information and all like that, and it really brought the community together.
that's major.
But
Okay. And I want to close with what advice would you give to younger generations regarding preparedness for future natural disasters?
uh, I would say that take them serious,
Okay.
and preparation is the best thing. I mean, you can't go out and get water
Yeah.
once the storm hit.
Right.
So you need to have water, you need to have flashlights. So I would just say that be prepared.
That's
You
real.
know, be prepared when you know there's a disaster coming in any form in life. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just uh, I'll say it like this: an ounce of prevention
Mm-hmm.
is worth a pound of care.
100%.
So preparing
Yes.
for disasters would be the best thing to do, and just don't take it for granted.
Amen. I love that. And then my final thought would be, what is the best thing that has happened to you because of Hurricane Katrina, and how did it save your life? Let's say that.
Okay. The best thing that happened to me,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because of Hurricane Katrina, that I found the Lord, my
Oh,
Lord
that's
and
real.
Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
He has been
I
the
love
best
that.
thing that ever happened to me.
That.
He restored my soul.
Yeah.
I've been serving him
Yeah.
ever since the day I set foot in Baltimore.
I love that.
Yeah, and he has just blessed me abundantly.
Yeah.
And he's given me a precious wife.
Yes.
Um, my first wife passed,
Mm.
and I had been single, and I had planned to solo it on out, but because of God, He
Yes.
gave me a beautiful wife, and I've been working at the church
Yes.
for the last 20 years.
Amen.
And I'll end with this. God took me straight out of the storm and brought me to his house
Mm-hmm.
and gave me refuge in his house
Yes.
and restored my soul.
That was it.
And 5 days after I got to Baltimore,
Yeah.
I got a job at
Yep.
Colonial Baptist Church.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been at that church
Yeah.
working, serving God for the last 20 years. Right now, I am the facility manager.
Yep.
I teach Sunday school.
Yes.
I'm just all involved 100%
I
with the
love
Lord. I
it. Amen.
I and then the irony of it is the day of the hurricane, that was not what I was doing.
Yes.
That's a whole nother story, but
We'll talk about that too, but I just want you to focus on the glory and the beautiful
yeah,
part. And one
yeah,
time when on our next episode, actually, guys, I'm going to invite my grandma when she has the time, and we're going to speak about how they met and how they transitioned into having a prosperous 20-year marriage, because a lot of you millennials need to know what it's like to be in a marriage, including myself. But
yeah.
that's the thought. She's going to be our next lovely guest, and we're going to speak to her about how they met and how they've made it 20 years, married happily too, like not fake married, but
Yes,
very
no,
happy and very like connected spiritually, mentally, and just everything. I actually adore their relationship so much, and I think it's an example to show people like what it is like to be married and become one as a union. So I
yes.
remember dancing at you guys' wedding. That's one of my core
Oh yeah,
memories.
yeah. You
Yeah,
danced at our wedding.
that's one of my
And
core memories. But it
it's
was, I'll show you guys that next episode. But furthermore, Grandpa, what's your
beautiful.
closing
It
thoughts
was beautiful.
about Katrina and just anything like any last words that you want to say?
It's the one of the things I'll say in closing is that
Mm-hmm.
uh when God takes you down to nothing,
Yes.
he's up to something.
Oh, wow, that is so beautiful. We're going to leave that right there, guys. We are going to say amen. I want to thank you so much for coming today. This means so much to me. And I feel like this is the beginning of an amazing series. I don't want to call it a podcast, but it's just something that I feel like God has called me to do to start to speak, true to things that I've experienced and just incorporating so many other stories because you never know who it's going to touch. So I love you guys. Say I love you, Grandpa.
I love y'all.
And we'll see you again soon.
All right.
Bye. Oh, yes, my grandpa, I love you.
Love you, money.
Favorite person. Okay,
Thank
I'll
you,
call
my
you later.
darling. All right, talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.